Hello everybody, welcome from my class Computer Networks, and today I am going to talk about the security and troubleshooting, and this is very interesting because all of the slides, all of the weeks, all of the sessions we discussed about the communications, about how data is being transferred from source to destinations, how the LAN or WAN technology can be accommodated in computer networks, and today's topics how you can secure your information technology in your network. So this this is the security. We know how you can protect your data from the networks. This is the security, and how if there is some attacks here, attacked by some attackers, how can we troubleshoot this problem. So these very interesting topics from the sessions. Security, many security here. We can describe first the general network security, denial of service facts, types of denial of service attacks, specific network attacks, protecting the hardware and software, layer 2 security, SS, VPN, syslog, HDM security audit wizard, Cisco auto service, ACL Topology and Types, general network security. What is the policy of the security of an organizations? As you know, the organization's set of rules regarding how to handle and protect sensitive data. It will be a very simple method from here. Now, of course, one organization want to make some security regarding their protection of the sensitive data. A security policy should include physical security, acceptable use of applications, safeguarding data, remote access to the network, data center, wireless security. Denial of service facts commonly used against information stored like websites. And if the attacker tries to prevent a service from being used and making their service unavailable to legitimate users, attackers typically go for high visibility targets such as the web or server infrastructure target like routers and network link. The attacker tries to get the information from the website and from the links. So this is one kind of facts. An example, suppose if a mail server capable of receiving and delivering 10 messages a second, then attacker simply send 20 messages per second. So that means legitimate traffic will get dropped. So that means the attacker sending informations more than the delivering information, actual delivering. So there is some possibilities of dropping the information. So it causes might stopping responding entirely. This type of attack may be used as a diversion while another attack is made to actually encrypt the system. Type of service attacks here you can see in the figure. You can see here the denial of service and attacker, what is the condition, the types, physical infrastructure attacks, buffer overflow attacks, sync flood attacks, threat attacks, firmware attacks, SMS, DNS attacks, email attacks, virus arms. We know the informations. The specific network attacks, internet queries, ping sweeps, forwarding scans, ARP attack, brute force attack. That means the password related low. That means the strong or very simple password can be heard, and in the brute force attack can be used here to extract the informations. Or worms, flooding, sniffers. That means to capture the network packets, spooning, redirect attacks, tunneling attack, cover channel. Protecting the hardware. The first level of security in any network is physical security. You have to understand here. How can we make the security where the network is in the physical security? Critical nodes of an organization should be separated from the general workspace. That means the one places where the secret critical nodes can be there, and we have to be very careful. That means we have to keep this in the separate places or the very secret areas. It is very essential for the network. The nodes should be kept in central locations. We are earlier mentioned here. If office space is limited, and nodes must be located near employers. That means you are getting some priority for these special nodes. Protecting the software. The primary threats against software are malware and hackers. The malware refers to malicious programs that have many different capabilities, as well as there are some types of malware here: virus, worm, macrovirus, polymorphic virus, stealth virus. You can see from the last slide from here, that means the last part of the slides, there are some types of malware. Layer 2 security here, the perimeter, MRS, ACS, you can see host, some web server, email server, DNS servers. Many servers can be accommodated in the computer, that means in the network, and how it is accessed to each other, and there are some possibilities to get information from other sites, from the third person, from the attacker. Firewalls. A firewall is a system that enforces an access control policy between network. Common properties of firewalls: the firewall is resistant to attacks, that means it makes resistance for attackers. If attackers tries to access the informations, the firewall can make the resistance, can prevent to refrain the informations from here. The firewall enforces the access control policy for firewall topologies: packet filtering router, single home based, dual home based position delimited zone. And if you compare, when this comes to the network layers, to often a very weak link, and you can see there are some application layer, presentation layer, session, transport network, data link, physical, and there are some comparison in the layer. That means the often is a weak link, means the application stream can be communicated in streamline from application to application layer, protocols and ports, IP addresses, MAC addresses, and physical links, and also the compromised and initial compromise between the layers. Permissions, encryption, and authentication. The permission here, the official approval that allows a user to access specific network resource. Encryption often consists of using security algorithms to scramble and descramble data. Types of algorithms: symmetric key and asymmetric key. So that means the encryption process can be used here. Suppose some informations or routing updates, some other data can be accommodated or can be traced from one network to another network. So that means if we make the encryption process, that means it not be visible by third parties very easily. So it can be accommodated or it can be modified by some other commands can be used here. Permission, encryption, and authentication. The continuation of the slide here, we are saying that secure socket layer, a means of encryption, a session between two hosts through the use of digital certificates which are based on asymmetric key encryption. Authentication, the process by which user verified to a server that are their server. There are several types of authentications, even a password authentication protocol and challenge handshake authentication protocol, and shell connection, also secure shell protocols, and also the command sequence in the CLI command you can use here. Virtual private network, VPNs, the very well known networks in the world. Virtual private located in, normally you can say where you are located in doesn't matter, in the same costing on the same network it can be visible here. Popular technology for creating a connection between an external computer, a corporate site over the internet, and client to site VPN, also known as remote user VPN. A VPN that allows designated users to have access to the corporate network from remote locations. Site to site VPN, a VPN that allows multiple corporate sites to be connected over low cost internet connections, and it can choose from several tunneling protocols to create secure end-to-end tunnels, point-to-point tunneling, layer 2 tunneling, and generic routing calculations can be chosen from these several tunneling protocols. And syslog servers, known as the log host, these systems accept and process log messages from slides. And you can see from this figure here, there are some servers, administrative servers, as well as public web servers can become accommodated in this system. Disabling unnecessary service also, you can, there are some unnecessary services can be visible here. So we can disable these services unless our organization or your organization uses the methods and go through the CLI and enter a series of commands from the service. You can enter using this in these programs. You can some unnecessary most networks you can remove from this part, disabling you can. And SDM security audit here, the perform security audit, learning that Mr. to choose configuration changes and the automatically makes or recommended security related configurations. Security audit wizard, compare router configuration against recommended settings, apply the firewalls to the outside interfaces also. You can shut down the unneeded servers, you can disable unneeded services or harden SNMP also can be disabled here. You can also unused interface you can shut down here. You can check password strength here, enforce the use of ACLs also. ACL topology and types, there are some ACL topology protocol range also from this figure you can see. Type of ACLs also you can see there are standard IP ACLs, extended IP ACLs. Also there are some extended IP reflected, dynamic, time based, contact based also can be considered here. Troubleshooting here, establish a network baseline, we can make establishment here. Troubleshooting methodologies and troubleshooting tools here. Common issues that occur during wide area network implementation. Troubleshoot common inter-VLAN connectivity issues also, and also common software and hardware misconfiguration associated with VLANs. So this type of troubleshooting can be presented here from this IP version 6 or using IP version 4 or the local area network or wide area network, we can use this part. And baseline, we can establish a baseline network, and we know the importance of network informations here, the documenting your network. So if you make documentation here, so that means any kind of troubleshooting, if you are ready to troubleshoot, if you have the manual or if you have the configuration sites from where there is some specific problem, you can find out easily. So as for example, if you make the documentation here, you can make some fields here, suppose device name, model, interface name, MAC address, IP addresses, IP routing protocols also can be accommodated in this record. Establish a network, if you go the flow chart of this figure, describe this stage of the network documentation process. If you go the flow chart here, and you can see there are logins here, interface discovery here, documentations, and it is, if you compare, it is topology diagram. Yes, if it is, then you can compare. Has the device been completely documented? If yes, then device recovery. If no, then again iteration process you can go to the interface discovery. And where any device is determined to be undocumented? No, network documentation complete. So based on this topology or based on this figure, based on this flowchart, it is possible to establish a network baseline. And also the purpose of measuring normal network performance while creating baseline. Why is establishing a network baseline important? Because there are some questions also. How does the network perform during a normal or average day? Where are the most error occurring? Then what alert threshold should be set of the devices that need to be monitored? Can the network meet the identified policies? What part of the network is most heavily used? What part of the network is least used? There are some measuring normal performance can be important, this information from here. Also troubleshooting methodologies and troubleshooting tools in this figure you can compare. OSI model, open system interconnected model, and TCP layered model. You can see here transport layer TCP, and network internet layer IP is accommodated from these two layers configurations. In this figure, troubleshooting methodology and troubleshooting. In this here, the gathering symptom, isolate the problem, correct the problem if another problem arises as a result of the corrections. And troubleshooting methodologies and troubleshooting tools. In this figure, the gathering symptoms for the troubleshooting network problem, analyze existing symptoms here, determine ownership also, as well as in this go through, narrow scope, determine symptoms and documenting symptoms here. Finally, it is the begin the isolations. And in the connections here, you can see there are some software tools that are commonly used. and software troubleshooting tools, Cisco View, SolarWinds, HP overview you can see from here, and also some hardware implementations troubleshootings form can be presented from this part. And also there are some steps here. You can see the WAN design from the top to bottom. You can also see locate LANs, analyze traffic, plan topology, then plan bandwidth, choose topology. Then from choose topology you can make the iteration plan again to the plan topology. You can go from this figure and the cost and evaluate. You can review, you can see the locate LANs again. You can be returned from here. So from these common issues that occur during WAN implementations, the private or public or latency also, that means delays can be problem here, reliability, quality of service, security, confidentiality. That means we need to send sensitive company information to our branches across the wide data network also. And troubleshoot common inter, default VLAN, VLAN 10, VLAN 13, you can make some VLAN here, and from the VLAN also you can make the troubleshooting from the network. And also hardware misconfiguration associated here. There are common problems with VLANs and trunks here. You can see from this table, and some native VLANs also, trunk mode mismatch, VLAN and IP subnets allows VLAN and trunks also. Troubleshooting interference, how to troubleshoot network problems. First, we have to check the bad cables or connections, check if correct cable internets had been used, check if devices have been enabled incorrectly, verify proper interface configurations, check operating statistics and data error rates. And also you can see the how to troubleshoot network problem occurring data link layer, the troubleshooting between also DSU, CSU in the first and point-to-point locations, the point-to-point troubleshooting in Calvo also can be accommodated here. In this figure, you can see describe how to troubleshoot network problem occurring network layer, troubleshooting layer 3 problems also you can see, and check the network from top to the routing issues tables also mentioned here briefly. And students, you are requested to go details from the books or some other references from the part. And also if the troubleshoot network problems occur at transport layer also it is described, the symptoms and net issues also it is described here. You can see the symptom of transport layer problems are and how it is accommodated in these 7 layers also described here. And the troubleshoot network problems occur in the application layer also it is maintained, ping the default gateway, verify end-to-end connectivity, vary ACL and NAT operations also. And finally from the right side connecting application layer problems you can see from this here you can document successful information from here. So thank you very much from this session. So we'll have next time we'll have meeting in different session, different ways. So thank you very much again.